Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Read With Me once again. And today I have come with another short story from this collection, Grandma's Bag of Stories, written by Sudha Murty. Let's start. This is Rupa's Great Escape. Aja's and Vishnu Kaka's houses were teeming with people. There was a village festival, and friends and relatives from near and far had come to Sigan, or is it like Siggagan? There were people the children had not seen or even heard about before. Some said, I am your father's fourth cousin. Someone else said, I am your grandmother's second cousin. The houses were full and there was a lot of fun and laughter everywhere. Nobody expected a separate bedroom or a special dish at the dining table. They all ate together and talked to everybody and slept on the floor on mattresses. The city children were surprised at the ease with which the guests made themselves at home. The women helped out in the kitchen in the morning, and in the evening they dressed in shining silk saris and went to the fair. In fact, everyone dressed in their best, put the 200 rupees Aja gave in their pockets and purses and made for the fair. The fair itself was quite astonishing. The children from Mumbai said it is just like Chaupati on Juhu Beach. The Delhi kids said it is similar to Janpat. Others said it is like Karaga or Kalaikai Parishe in Bangalore. Vishnu Kaka explained in every village there is a village god or goddesses, and once a year we worship them in a grand way. At the festival and fair, it is not just about selling and buying, it is also about meeting people, exchanging gifts, having a feast, and a good time. The group moved from shop to shop, peeping into the photo studios, examining bangles, waiting for a turn on the merry-go-round, and clapping along to the dances when someone noticed Shuma was missing. Somewhere in the crowd, she had got separated from the rest, and now there was no sign of her. Immediately, her mother started wailing, and Aji consoled her. Vishnu Kaka too looked really worried. The children were scared and thrilled too. This was just like Home Alone. As Vishnu Kaka was about to make his way to the police assistance booth, they heard Shuma's voice on the mic. I am at the police station. Vishnu Aja, please come and fetch me. When Shuma had been traced, her mother started scolding her. But Shuma was not bothered. I was not worried, she said. In the crowd, when I realized I was not with you people, I straight away went to the police station and told them to make an announcement. Everyone declared she was very brave and sensible girl. And for a change, that day Vishnu Kaka said, today I will tell a story about a young girl like Shuma who had a lot of courage. I read this story in a book when I was young. Once there lived a very clever young girl called Rupa. She was an orphan and had been taken care of all her life by the people of the village in which she lived. She was very hardworking, and when she became old enough, she lived all by herself and looked after herself. But she always missed having a family of her own, even though her neighbors were such loving and caring people. One day, when Rupa was about 16 years old, she went down to the river along with some other women and girls to wash clothes and fetch water. Diwali was around the corner and everyone was excited. They were discussing what new clothes they could get. Some were expecting their husbands and fathers to return to the village with lovely gifts for them, and were looking forward to all the merrymaking that would happen over the next few days. Only Rupa was quiet. She didn't have anyone to buy her new clothes or shoes or presents. The villagers were kind to her, but they had barely enough for their own needs, so how could she expect them to get anything for her? Yet today, hearing all the happy chatter around her, she could not keep quiet any longer. Even I will get a new shari this year, she told Rama, her best friend. Rama and all the other girls were astonished. Who was going to get Rupa her new sari? I heard from a distant uncle the other day. He was working for many years in a faraway city and did not know that my parents had died. Now that he is back, he has promised to visit me on Diwali. I'm sure he will bring some marvelous gift for me. Rupa had started weaving a story and now she kept adding, telling all kinds of tales about her imaginary uncle. Her friends listened open mouthed, then they went home telling each other what luck Rupa was finally no longer all alone in the world. As soon as the bunch of women had gone away, who emerged from behind a tree, but Volu the trickster. He had been sitting under the tree, planning his next theft, when he had fallen asleep. Then he had woken up and seen the women at the river and had sat there still hoping to hear something about the villagers. Sure enough, he had heard Rupa's story and was now ready with a plan. Volu decided to dress up as an old man and appear at Rupa's house a few days before Diwali, pretending to be her uncle. Then he would take her away along with any valuables she may have got from her parents. A week before Diwali, an old stranger appeared at Rupa's door. He was carrying new clothes, sweets, and other gifts. Rupa was out doing some errands, so her neighbors came around to find out who he was. Volu acted perfectly like Rupa's long-lost uncle, eagerly waiting to meet her. When Rupa returned home, she found everyone sitting around an old man who said he was the uncle she had made up a story about. Now Rupa was astonished. How had this happened? She had only been pretending to have a relative just so her friends would not feel sorry for her, and now here he was, a real person. Then her neighbor, who had looked after her all these years, said, Rupa, this is your uncle Bholu. He learned he had a niche and came here looking for you. He wants to take you home with him and look after you like his own daughter. You are so lucky, Rupa, and we are so happy for you. Rupa looked around at everyone, beaming happily at her, and thought what harm would there be if she went away with his uncle. She happily packed whatever little things she owned and, waving goodbye to her friends and neighbors, went off with Volu. No sooner had they reached his house than he took off his disguise and appeared before her as a young man. Rupa was horrified. Oh, what a fool she had been to believe his story and come away with him. He was nothing but a trickster. In Volu's house, there was no one else but his mother, who was old and deaf and blind. After eating his lunch, Volu decided to walk about for a while, meeting his friends and telling them how he had kidnapped Rupa. She too ate her lunch, pretended she was very happy, yawned loudly and told his mother, Auntie, I am very tired after that long journey. I am going to bed for a little while. If your son comes round, tell him not to wake me up. Volu's mother nodded, though she had not heard much. Rupa quickly went to the other room, borrowed some of the Volu's clothes, wore them and ran off. She took with her a few coins and a thick stick to defend herself if need be. And before leaving, she arranged the pillows in such a way on the bed that in the evening darkness it looked like someone was sleeping on the bed. Then she covered the pillows with a dupatta and shit. And if anyone only looked in from the door, it would seem as if a woman was sleeping on the bed. Bholu returned home when it was well past evening. His mother told him Rupa was in her room. He peeped in, saw someone sleeping and went away. Many hours passed. Bholu kept checking whether Rupa was awake or not, but each time he saw her sleeping without moving a muscle. Finally, he realized something was wrong. He went up to the bed now and pulled back the dupatta and shed. Imagine his shock when he saw nothing but pillows on the bed. Rupa had disappeared. He ran out immediately and asked everyone about or around if they had seen a young girl or young pretty girl walk out of his house. But no one had, because Rupa had cleverly disguised herself as a man. Meanwhile, Rupa too had walked many miles till she reached a different town. There she looked around for work and was taken in by an innkeeper to look after the guests and to show them their rooms. Rupa, who now called herself Rupesh, was happy doing this work. She could not return to her village till she did something about Volu. Otherwise, he would be sure to land up there and bring her back with him, pretending to be her uncle. After many days, Volu turned up at the town. He walked from shop to in to market, asking if anyone had seen someone like Rupa. Of course, no one had. Rupa got to know and decided to teach him a lesson. When Volu raised her in, he did not recognize her in men's clothes. She agreed to give him a room for this night, and she told him, "Sir, I will give you a room in the attic. It is nice and warm and cozy there, and you will be away from this harsh winter cold." Volu happily agreed and followed her to the room. A ladder was kept in the middle of the room, which went up to a little trap door. If you climbed through the door, you entered the attic. Volu quickly went up the ladder, found his bed, wrapped his blanket around himself, and went off to sleep. When it was the middle of the night, Rupa sneaked into the room and removed the ladder. Then she threw some marbles right under the trapdoor and stamped loudly around the room. Volu woke with a start. Who was that walking around his room? He called down nervously. Who is there? Rupa called out in her man's voice. Nothing to worry, sir. The soldiers are looking for a thief they believe is hiding in this inn. Bolu was really scared. How did the soldiers know he was a thief and a trickster? He was sure they were looking for him and decided to make a run for it. He opened the trapdoor and stepped down, but there was no ladder. Bholu fell with a loud thud onto the floor. When he tried to get up, his feet slipped on the many marbles strewn about the room, and he went crashing and sliding all over the place. Finally, he hit his head against a wall and passed out unconscious. Rupa had been watching this from the door with great delight. Her plan was working. As soon as Volu fainted, she heaved him up and packed him up in a large box, and she placed a nice silk cloth on top of him. Then she dragged the box outside the inn and stood there. Soon a bullock cart passed by with two travelers heading for the inn. When they saw Rupa or Rupesh standing outside the inn, they asked, "Are you the manager of this inn?" Rupa nodded, "Yes." "Why are you standing there then?" Rupa replied in a worried voice, I look after this inn. I was supposed to go to my own village earlier today to attend a wedding, but there was so much of work that I could not leave, and now here I am waiting for my cart with this heavy box. Then she lowered her voice and whispered, "This box is full of gifts I bought for the wedding, and if I don't reach in time, everyone will be really disappointed." The two travelers, who were up to no good themselves, looked each other. Like the same thought had come to both. They said, "Don't worry, brother, you can take a ride on our cart. Why don't you put your box on the cart here? But before we start, would you mind getting us a drink of water?" Rupesh or Rupa smiled to herself and dragged the box onto the cart. Then she went inside to fetch the water. She took her time. As soon as her back was turned, the two travelers opened the box to see what it contained. They saw some lovely silk cloth on top. Now, assured that they had got their hands on some valuables, they quickly urged their bullocks forward and made a dash for it. Once they were well and truly out of sight, Rupa grinned to herself. Her plan had worked. She ran to the nearest police station and told them all about the theft. The two men in the bullock cart were just celebrating their theft of the box when they were horrified to see soldiers waiting for them down the road. What could they do? They wondered. They were crossing a bridge over a river at the time and quickly tipped the box into the water. Then they heaved a sigh of relief and went their way. So that was the end of Volu and Rupa too returned to her village. So that was the end of Volu, and Rupa too returned to her village, where she lived happily on her own. She was not going to trust any stranger anymore. And That's what brave Suma did too. When she was in trouble, she did not talk to any stranger, but went straight to the police for help. We must always remain cool like this when in trouble, signed off Vishnu Kaka. Suma was delighted at this praise and ate her vajias with great happiness all the way home. Sorry for the interruptions by the car while I was reading. And thank you so much for being patient and listen to the whole story along with me. Please do comment and do like and do subscribe. Comment below. Let me know in the comment section, do you like it or not? And have a great day and have a great life ahead. Okay, and soon I will be coming with another short story. So till then, stay blessed, stay happy. Another thing I would like to mention is that I always try to keep the readings very spontaneous so that I can make myself feel that I am one sitting among you all and reading this story to you. So if there is anything that you don't like, let me know in the comment section, and if you like it, also let me know in the comment section. I will love it. So yeah, thank you.